What would happen if the US dollar suddenly lost its value? Not just in America, but everywhere. Because today, the US dollar is not just America's money. It is the world's money. Oil is priced in dollars. Gold is priced in dollars. Many countries keep dollars in their central banks. So if the dollar collapses, the shock would hit the USA, the UK, and Europe, and almost every country on Earth. Let's break it down in simple terms. Right now, the US dollar is the world's main reserve currency. About 60% of global reserves are in dollars. Most international trade uses dollars. Even if two countries are not America, like Japan and Brazil, they often trade in dollars. Why? Because it is trusted. It is stable. And the US economy is large. But what if that trust breaks? A dollar collapse means the dollar loses value very fast. Other currencies become stronger. Investors stop trusting US debt. Prices in America rise quickly. This has happened before, but not fully. In the 1970s, the dollar lost a lot of value. Inflation in the US went above 10%. Oil prices exploded. More recently, we saw examples in other countries. In Turkey, the currency lost over 80% of its value in a few years. In Argentina, inflation went above 100%. In Venezuela, money became almost worthless. These are extreme examples. The US is much stronger than these countries, but they show what currency collapse can look like. If the dollar collapses, imports become very expensive. America imports oil, electronics, clothes, medicine. Prices would rise fast. Inflation would increase. Everyday goods would cost more. Interest rates would rise. The government would have to pay more to borrow money. Stock markets could fall. Investors would panic. But there is one possible positive side. US exports would become cheaper for other countries. That could help American factories. Still, daily life would become more expensive for most people. The UK is closely connected to the US economy. If the dollar collapses, global markets would panic. The British pound might rise against the dollar. But the UK could still suffer from global instability. The UK imports energy and goods priced in dollars. If the global system becomes unstable, the pound could also become weaker due to fear. We saw something similar in 2022. When the UK announced major tax cuts without a clear plan. Markets panicked. The pound fell sharply. Government bond markets shook. The Bank of England had to step in. This shows how fast markets can react. Europe uses the euro, the second most important currency in the world. If the dollar weakens badly, the euro could become stronger at first. European exports to the US could become more expensive. Global trade could slow down. Europe also holds large amounts of US assets. If the dollar falls sharply, European banks and pension funds could lose money. During the 2008 financial crisis, a US housing problem turned into a global crisis. Banks in Europe were heavily exposed to US debt. That shows how connected everything is. Here is the most important point. The dollar is deeply connected to the global system. If it collapses suddenly, oil prices could swing wildly. Emerging markets with dollar debt could collapse. Global trade could slow down. Stock markets worldwide could crash. It would not just be America's problem. It would be a global shock. Could it really happen? A full collapse is unlikely in the short term. Why? Because the US economy is still one of the strongest. The dollar is deeply trusted. There is no clear alternative yet. China's currency is not fully open. The euro has political challenges. Crypto is too volatile. For now, the dollar remains dominant. But history teaches us something important. No currency stays number one forever. Before the dollar, the British pound was the global currency. After World War II, the dollar replaced it. So change is possible, just usually slow. If the US dollar collapses slowly, the world may adjust over time. But if it collapses suddenly, it could trigger one of the biggest financial shocks in modern history. The USA would suffer. The UK would feel it. Europe would feel it. And the world would feel it. Because in today's system, when the dollar moves, the world moves with it.